Welcome back, guys, and we are still working on the upper hull. I got all the sanding done on that back there, and that's looking pretty good. I want to throw some paint on there and see if it needs a little more touch-up, but hopefully it won't. As you can see, I have more Bondo up here, and that is because these two holes, well, rather the hole in the starboard side, is the edge of the bridge where I want it mounted, because I want it closer to this edge so that the light shines down here. It overlaps just barely, but it does. So I want that filled in for that reason. The other reason is, well, these three holes. That's the reason these three holes are filled in. And I want this flat. There is a decal, and it's kind of wallpaper. It's along this whole edge and comes all the way back here and then goes straight across. So it takes up this entire section. So what I'll need to do is get this nice and flat and then cut that decal into pieces and then put it on here. If I use that decal. More on that in a second, but as you can see, the Bondo's in there. I got those holes. I still got to fill them off. I'm waiting for that to dry, and then I'm going to fill more in. But yeah, that's still wet. You can see that pink color it is, pinkish color, lightish red. That's the dry. That's what it looks like when it's completely dried. And this maroon, it's still wet. I also reinforced it on the other side, those two, and I just glued in, or super glued in, pieces of plastic over those. You're never going to see that plastic, so it's not a big deal, and I'm going to paint over it anyways. So yeah, I'm waiting for all that to dry before I add some more into here, and then I'll sand, and then I'll paint over that. My bridge has the final, or hopefully final, coat of white on it. You can see it there. And I want that to fully cure before I get any masking tape anywhere near it. So that's just going to sit there for a good long while. I'm also doing the final white on the nacelles. You can see this should be the starboard nacelle. I just got one coat of paint on that. I had everything masked off. The port nacelle is done and ready for detail paint. So those are two things that are going on. And then the tragedy, which is the deflector dish, which looks so awesome. And it still looks cool, but can you see that? Can you see the edge of the decal? You see how it peeled up? You can see it real good right there. The darn thing peeled up, and I'm not sure why. Maybe I over microsoled it. I don't know. Maybe the decals are crap. With that in mind, I'm going to buy the refit decal set for this model that's out there. Because that's really disappointing, and I don't know if it's decal or my fault. They still look okay, but I'm going to sand all this off and then repaint it. So I'm glad I didn't glue in the light. I wanted this to be dry, and when it dried it started to peel up. So, disappoint, because that is a really cool decal. That looked nice detail. I think the one that's for sale has better detail, and it's more accurate to the refit. This is more accurate to the A. So, yeah, that's something I have to purchase. And I never explained something. Masked off the crystal, and I masked off that little, let's touch the tape. That little hole back there, you can't even see it. Little divot. How did I mask that off? Well, silly putty. And I did that on the port nacelle too, that's up there. But yeah, I just used silly putty. I just stuck some silly putty in the hole, and it still comes in this nice red egg like it did when I was a kid. Probably still has the same silly putty on there. The only thing different is they did reinforce the egg with these nice little tabs. When I was a kid, it was just this edge. There's a little edge, and that's how you snap this back together, and it would never stay. But now it stays nice. So yeah, silly putty. Same stuff used when you were a kid to do whatever, make copies of newspapers or chew like gum or whatever you did with this stuff. So yeah, just a little bit of that goes a long way, and I'm using that to mask off little stuff like that. So that's where I am right at this moment. I'm going to continue to watch that dry. I'll be back when I'm back. Hey guys, got a bunch of more work done. I got those holes filled. I've got this all the way filled in and sanded and smoothed, and it took about 3 rounds of putty, of the old Bondo spot putty, spot and glazing putty. And I got my line around here, I got my phasers painted, and I got the crystal painted. Pretty much. I got my bridge here painted up. Here in the blue and the gold. And then I still have to add the detail on the top. There's a blue detail up here, but we'll talk about that in a second. Let's put that right up here. I got most of my, let's see here, port nacelle painted. I got the gray line that goes along the front and along this edge here. I got the blue, as you can see, around the edge. I got the RTS thrusters in yellow, and I got this gray line here. All I have to do is go back and paint the inside of this gray, and then touch anything up. I also have to touch some stuff up here. You can see I got a little bit of oopsie right there. And then the black has some white overspray. I have to just go in and brush that in. And then, yeah, I have to put the gray in there. So that's it for the nacelle, the bridge, and this. As you can see, that hole filled in fairly well. It's not perfect. I don't care because the bridge is going on top of it. But what I really, really dig is that officer's lounge. That turned out perfectly. And you can really see in there too if you look at it. So you'll be able to see that photo etch perfectly. The crystal surround, I masked off and I painted. I have a little overspray. I'm trying not to let it bug me. I think I'm just going to say whatever. I do have to go in and paint a little around here. The mask was a little bit off, so I have to go and paint some around there. I also had some paint on my finger, so it got on there. I'll have to touch that up. But that's primarily done. Now, how did I get the mask for this circle? There are multiple ways to mask off a circle. Choose the way that you works for you, essentially. But this is what kind of worked for me. I did make a mistake, though. I should have cut this mask that I made. I should have cut it in circle to go around here, because when I put it down, since it was a square, it kind of kicked up in the middle, and then even though I sprayed from the top, it still got a little overspray. So, mistake. But how did I get this? Well, easy. I just measured it off with my ruler, and I think this is 3/4 of an inch. And then I created lines on this piece of paper, kind of made a cross, measured it and made a line with my my pencil here, and then I turned it on its side 90 degrees, and I made another one, and then I went back in and made another cross that went in the center of that cross, so you get a shape that is like that. So you get something like that. And then to fill in the curve, I just took my little Kirby tool here, and it turns out that this edge here, like right above my finger, is almost perfect to what this is. So I just went in and lined it up like about that, and then just drew my circle in, and I folded it in half exactly on one of the lines, and I cut it out with the scissors. You can see the mask around there. Let's do it this way. And then, I put it down and I looked at it, and then I said, oh, I need a little trim here and there, so you might have to adjust it a little bit. But yeah, that worked almost perfectly to mask this. And then the other major thing I did was to make a purchase of something I didn't think I could buy, or it wasn't available. Well, apparently was. For some reason, the first time I went and looked over at HDA Model Works, I didn't see the Aztec decals. The reason I wanted the Aztec decals, is, well, for obvious reasons. I want to put the Aztecs on it. But there's some other decal sheets. There was the refit sheet, which had has more accurate details to this. As you can see, I was kind of disheartened by the kit decals rather. They silvered really badly. First off, I don't know how. I really pushed that water on the air out of there, and they still silvered on these things. I can see it from here on these little guys.
But as you can see, I did take those decals and I sanded the snot out of it, so I'll have to repaint this. Not a big deal. But so I wanted the decals for this thing, and then there's decals in that set for other parts too. There's also a decal for well, I'll show you in a second. But I don't know. I didn't just it wasn't like a ton of microsol, but it might have been what made those edges peel up. So not really trusting the kit decals. So I not only bought the Aztec, but I bought 2 other sets. As you can see, here are the Aztecs. And we're going to take a look at these, because these are cool. There's something, though, I want to do, and I might have to contact Jerry over at HDA Model Works, because I'm pretty sure he made these decals. But yeah, here's your placement guide here. Back in the front, where everything goes. You can see he's got places for all the pie wedge on the upper and the lower saucer. Planters are, and he's even got instructions on how to cut them. He has a nice big instruction sheet here, telling what to do, what not to do. Talking about lacquer based. Cannot apply lacquer over enamel. You can't use enamel over lacquer. So all of this should be enamel. So taking a lacquer-based matte finish and putting it over here shouldn't be a deal. You just can't do the opposite. For some reason, the reaction just ruins your paint. It just bleh. So all that information is here. Oop. Oh, that was my bridge. I'm like, what did that do? So yeah, this is one-sided. Let's do this smartly. But as you can see, here's some pie wedges of one of the hulls. And as I was saying, I might want to talk to Jerry, because what I'd like to do, and I may or may not do this, is I have a bunch of these pearlized. I have this yellow, I have green, I have blue, and I have red. What I'd like to do is take and just with my airbrush and maybe spray a little blue here, a little yellow there, a little red here, a little gold / yellow, whatever, and kind of do that on top of these decals. But I don't know if these are robust enough to handle the paint, and then I'd have to, of course, shoot them again with a sealer. And then I'm going to have to cut them out and, douse them in water, because these are water slides, and put them on the hull. I don't know if that whole process will ruin the decals or not. I'm hoping not. So I might have to contact him. But yeah, pie wedges. Here's would you stop that bridge, please? There. Here is another one. Let's go through these guys first, and we'll talk about that one. Let's see. It's a nice waxy paper. Make sure the waxy side is facing your decals. That's the protective side. Here we have the bridge surround detail and a bunch of other stuff. Oh, no, don't grab that, please. There's the nice bridge surround. And then there's some more details for I think this is the saucer edge. Some more pie wedges in here. Torpedo deck. Oh, the torpedo deck. Oh, okay. Those go on the neck. It looks like this is the rear section that goes around the not the deflector, but the what's it called? I just said it. Crystal, the impulse crystal. I can see cutouts like for that on there. Mm-hmm. And let's see, more of the pie wedges, more of these other things, lots of those pie wedges. And let's see, this is the secondary hull stuff. You got secondary hull, more of these things. Oh, these are extra. Some extra. Some more secondary hull. This goes with the fantail. Or below it, that little curved section. You got more pie wedges. I think he gives you extra pie wedges. There seems to be a lot of these, which would be nice. I always like extra decals because I have the dumb. Here we go. Here's the pylons of those awesome lightning bolt shapes that go on the pylons there. And there's the neck. The whole neck is one kind of piece. You can see the outline of the neck in that decal right there. And we have other stuff. We have extra nacelle patterns. Oh, that's cool. I like that pattern for the top. It's got this really cool kind of chevron pattern. Kind of a sergeant's chevron, as you can see, for the nacelles. It's probably going to go, yeah, right there. Oh, that's cool. I looked at these earlier, but I'm still finding new stuff. It's cool. Like Christmas. Let's see here. Bussards. Okay, those go there. Ooh, that wraps around the bottom. You can see that. That's going to be fun. Might have to cut that up. Here's the main nacelle. I think the tops and the bottoms. That looks like the bottom, maybe? That's the top. That's the bottom. Oh, that's... Oh, wait. Top, bottom. There we go. Let's put things right. There we go. That's the top of the nacelles. Bottom, rear nacelle, and starboard. Right there. Yeah. I think I got a little schmutz on there. Trying not to handle these too much before I do this. Okay, so those are all of the Aztecs. This, let's look at this first. This is the refit replacement. So you got your strong back, you got your part of your pylons. You've got these, which look way too small, but maybe. And then here's your four sides for your deflector dish. So, oh, your neck, some neck pieces. This is behind the deflector. Strong backs looks awesome. So there's all that. Let's see here. Let's put these. I think I'll put these up front. And here's kind of the kit replacement decals here. So you've got all your registries. And this is the refit kit, so no A's on anything. So you got all your registries right here. You got these things, which will be even more of a pain. Same pain, because the materials in the middle, I might have to cut some of these up. You see you got your deflector dish. You got black for your arboretum, or he actually did. Let's put this the right way. He actually did a nice detailed arboretum if you just want to use those. So you can see there's little trees and stuff back in there. That's really cool. I'm not going to be using those, obviously, because they're the photo etch. There's the surround for the bridge, so I don't have to mask that off. I will have to cut this in half or something, because the carrier films in the middle, these aren't, again, die cut, so you have to cut everything out. I'll have to do the same thing with the bridge. I'm going to have to cut that up. This goes around the bridge. I'm not going to use the RTS. I might use the kit supplied ones, mainly because my light's not going to be coming anywhere near these, where these little... He put the detail in of the little thruster ports. Unfortunately, again, I have holes drilled. So, yeah, I love the deflectors. I love that he's got the amber and the blue. He's got this for the around the impulse crystal again. He's got all these little areas that go around the escape hatches, and all the phaser banks here too. It looks like, yep, all the phaser bank. And I'll have to cut out the centers of those. Maybe cut those in half as well. Oh, he's got the saucer docking gangway. I don't know if that might fit over the photo etch pretty well. We'll find out. Got really nice pendants, and I noticed the red in here is more of a deeper kind of maroon red, which it should be. Let's see. We got the pinstripes for around the bridge. Oh, we got two impulse deck decals. DML and the kit. There's some differences. Some extra stripes in case you screw up. Some extra pinstripes in case you screw up on those. I love the sensor bands. Cut to fit. Yeah, these are going to have to be cut because of the impulse engines. You're going to cut out some of them. What else I thought was really cool? Oh, those. These things, which will fit over, hopefully fit over the photo etch for the fantail for the deflector, or not the deflector, but the tractor beam at the edge of the sides of the secondary hull, which I have the photo etch for those, but I wonder if those decals will go over them. Yeah, so a really, really great set of decals here. All of these are, actually. So I'm glad I splurged, because it was looking, when I was painting it up, it was looking really plain and white. So I'm like, man, I wish there was some, even with all the paint details, it still looks, it's just white. So I wanted to make it look just a little more detailed. But, well, that's going to do it. I know I said there wasn't going to be a video this week, and this is kind of a short video, mainly the Aztecs. So, I'll hopefully see you guys next week, and take care. Bye.